Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your leadership coach with another message that could take your leadership to the next level. I'm Glastinne. I'll be your host tonight. What is nationality? And why is it important for us to know what it is? Tonight's guest is a very special dude. I mean, he has dedicated his life to understanding nationality, and he wants to share his wisdom with us tonight. So we got my man Kojo. That's a very serious dude, but we're gonna still have fun. We're gonna get the fun out of him, right? And Kojo, I see that you're on. I just want to take a minute to just say what's up to my audience. Hey, type in your name and what state that you're dialing in from so I can give you a shout out. Those of you that are on Facebook, go ahead and do the same thing. Ian, what's up, my brother Ian? I got my brother Ian on in the audience. Always happy to see him. The millionaire cowboy in the house. Always happy to see that brother right there. I got God's lovely queen in the house. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Like I said, if you're on Facebook and you want to actually see Kojo, you have to jump on IG for a second because we can't. IG doesn't play well with Facebook for some reason, especially when we're talking about third-party platforms. Hey, God lovely queen is from Kentucky. We got Kentucky in the house. Hey, welcome. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's conversation. We got mompreneur Denise from Atlanta in the house. Man, thank you. Welcome. Really appreciate you guys taking out your precious time to join me tonight with my guest, Kojo. He'll be here in a few minutes. I want to take a little time just to say hello to you guys and just remind you we're talking about nationality, what it is, and why is it important. And we're going to focus on that topic because I want to know too. I want to know what is nationality. Heard some crazy things about it, some crazy good things. And I just want to just go in deeper and be like, all right, so let me investigate and see if this is something for me. And for all of you guys, you have to ask yourself the question, is it for you? And you have to do your research, and if it is. And but I just wanted to, because I'm interested in it and being the leader that I am, I want to share that with people. Whatever I'm interested in, I want to share it with you. And it does have a lot to do with leadership. Here's what it has to do with leadership. Because nationality is about you. Nationality is about your freedom, how you run your life. And that's what leadership is about. Leadership is about you, the person, how you lead your life. So that's why today's topic is just so interesting to me. And I want to get in it. I'd like to say a special hello to all the vetted Moors out there. I'd like to say hello, peace to you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Kojo. And really appreciate you. We're going to have a good time tonight while I dive in deep with Kojo. Also, if you have any questions that you want to ask Kojo, just put it in the chat and I will ask Kojo those questions. And he also could see your questions also. Man, welcome again to all the Moors out there. I am blessed to have you guys, support Kojo like this. He's just a phenomenal wealth of information. I had a good long talk with him, and we got on the phone. I couldn't stop talking to him because he is so knowledgeable and so straightforward. Because I'm that type of dude, just give me the information, and give me the resources where I can go and find the information. And that's exactly what he did. He not only gave me the information, but he also provided me with resources so I can go find the information on my own. So that was a blessing. So have your pen and paper ready, because this guy is full of knowledge. And I am going to, it is 8:06. I am going to bring Kojo on right now without further ado. Man, I'm so happy to have someone just of his caliber on this show. I mean, yo, there he is. There he
What's
is.
good?
There's Kojo, man. What's up, man? Peace, brother.
Everything's good. Peace to you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Good to see you.
You could hear me clear. Everything's clear.
I can hear you clear, and everyone else seems to be able to hear you clear also.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so we are good. Welcome everybody again. I'm going to let Kojo introduce himself and let him just share a little bit about his background and how he got involved in the Moorish community. And Kojo, let's just talk about you for a little bit, man. How did you get involved in this, and just give us a little bit of background, a little history about yourself.
Islam. Peace and love to all the viewers, all the people who are usually on this channel. We want to say thank you to you for being here. And of course, thank you to you, brother, for opening up your platform so we can have these discussions that a lot of our people don't want to have. Coming into the Moorish movement, basically, to be short so we can get to what we have to get to, I've been through many of the schools of thought, and when I got to the Moorish paradigm, that was the only time that I was told about this thing called nationality, right? And all the other schools of thought were taught that we're a nation, we're taught about nationhood, we're taught about all our people are one people in these sort of generic terms. But there was a specificity about the Moorish information that led me on a journey that I'm still on. Was this, say, 10, 12 years later?
Nice.
Still on the journey like it's day one. So it was really just having my back against the wall with regard to the information we were getting from all the different schools of thought that always got you amped up and led you up to this place, and then you get to that place and then nothing happens.
Right.
And then you get led to this place and then nothing happens. And after this thing happening so much, you eventually realize that this is a hypocrisy. And there has to be something different. This can't be where it's at as far as our people. And like I said, as soon as the Moorish paradigm hit, a whole new world opened up. And we'll get to some of that world that opened up tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. So where were you before? I mean, before all of this, what's your as far as an individual, what's your background? Where are you coming from? Where did you go to school? And
okay. I was born here, Toronto, right? You want to say the Raptors are 2-0 in the playoffs right now. So,
nice.
We're about to repeat, just so you know, we rep Toronto hard.
Nice.
Grew up here, just like majority of our people, some type of priority neighborhood situation. Left here, moved to Trinidad and Tobago, where my parents are from. Lived there for a number of years, so have I have a boots to the ground experience with regard to real life. You know, real life meaning being able to go outside and pick something if you wanted to eat.
Right.
You don't gotta go to McDonald's or whatever. You wanna you wanna you wanna bathe, you just take your soap, go down to the river. You're not putting on water and going into the bathtub and all that, right? You really want to bathe, go jump in the ocean. You know what I mean? You want coconut water, it's not out of the can, it's out of the coconut.
Right.
Right. So growing up with that, came back here, again, being in the quote unquote priority neighborhood situation, you know, seeing things happen with people and you get to that point where you realize that, you know, certain things are just not for you. This is maybe about 93. Yeah, about 93. We had a good brother that had a studio out here because we do hip hop music too.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, I heard. Yeah.
So the brother who had the studio, at his studio, he had a library at his studio, and it was, you know, Afrocentric books and all that. But we weren't really, you know, our mind wasn't there. Our mind was the block life or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So our content was those type of things. And then about 96, met this hip hop group that I became part of called Nationality, and they are who really kickstarted my you know, studying. You know what I mean? We used to go to one of the brothers' house and we would just put in tapes, tape after tape, just watching lectures. You know what I mean? And you know,
it's the
back
90s,
then,
y'all, tapes.
yeah.
Tapes. It's the 90s. It's not MP3s. These are tapes.
And so, just getting information from you name it, anybody who was putting out information about our history, our culture. And when that reached its pinnacle, then we figured that, you know, we can't just keep this information to ourselves. We gotta get this information out to people. You know, so we started up a mobile Afrocentric library.
Wow.
So me and my boy would have the books in the trunk, and we'll go delivering books, picking up books. You know, people would donate books, go picking up donation of books. Right. Remember, this is 90s, right? This is where we were.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Who thought of that?
One of the brothers actually, he's on here, Victor Emmanuel, a brother.
Nice.
He's on the continent now, and he's good friends with Steve Coakley's son and stuff like that. So we have a pretty interesting circle of individuals. You know what I mean? So once you got into that, the part of the information where you're getting it to the people, their response is going to be whether you keep doing this thing or not. You know what I mean? And there's always been a receptive position with our people wanting to know more. So we had access to a place called the Marcus Garvey Center out here. We had access to a place called the Caribbean Center, and we would just put on lectures, you know, bringing people here for lectures, doing all that. And we did a lecture with a brother by the name of Ali Melbay. And this is probably about 2005, 2006. And the information that he was coming with was taking it into the metaphysical realm, which other people weren't talking about. You know what I mean? And through him, we got connected to people like Phil Valentine, Bobby Hemmett. You know, there's a brother by the name of Rudra that used to be lecturing. Obashango. A lot of these metaphysical or behind the veil teachers.
Yeah. Bobby Hemmett is a master. And Phil Valentine.
Well, one of the things that, you know, we use as far as for them to qualify is Phil Valentine's a L. Even though you might not see him identified as a Moor, Phil Valentine's a Moor. He's proclaimed he knows about nationality and all that.
Right.
And Bobby Hemming's teacher is an elder by the name of C. Freeman L.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So,
I'm familiar, very familiar with C.
yeah.
Freeman.
Yeah. So if Bobby Hemmett's teacher is a Moor, and then people are only chasing after Bobby Hemmett, then our people have issues, because they should be really going to the teacher of their teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not just looking at their teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of that brought in the metaphysical information, and once that could even be said to be the place that allowed everything else to open up, as far as this information, because really and truly all the metaphysical occult information is really more science, really and truly. It's not metaphysics and whatever. It's the same information that our ancient foremothers and forefathers had in Egypt, that they used to civilize the world, and all the Europeans go into their schools for 40 years, 50 years in order to be qualified or whatever like that. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, all these
Yep.
people learn from us.
Yep.
Right? When Kemet fell, there's a book called Stolen Legacy.
And can you tell the people that don't know what is Kemet? Because some people they're not familiar with that term. Could you let them know what that term is? Define that term.
Well,
we
Kemet,
know that it's Egypt, but I just want everybody to hear from you.
Right. Well, really, when we look at all these different names that we see on maps, majority of those were put there by somebody else. Right? Majority of those things were put there by somebody else. So again, going into more science, you have access to a little bit more information.
Right.
So the real Kemet was really something that was brought up by the black guys. Okay. Over there, it wasn't called Kemet. Before Egypt, it was called Hikupta.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might even hear people say Mizraim.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Egypt is modern.
Right.
And then Kemet was used because our people would know what that is when they hear Kemet. But it's really Hikupta.
Nice. Right? Nice.
Hiku, and then Ptah, Patabian in there, lets you know that it's ancient.
Ancient, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if the place is named after him,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Or was he named after the place? Right? Regardless, it's not some modern thing that some Greeks named it or whatever like that. But but the problem that we have is that, if you go too far back, then they would use their colonial powers to make you look like you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Right. Which is why the Moors are sort of in the background behind everybody else. Because as soon as you start talking about this information, it's going to change everything that's going on with the people.
Right. I wanted to because since we talked about C. Freeman L, I wanted to talk about Freemasonry. What's the connection between Moorish science and Freemasonry?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me just get something for you. So, if you really want to know, there's this book right here, Moors and Masonry. A brother by the name of Abdullah El Talib Mozi Bey. And then don't worry, there's his contact right there. You could call him up and he'll let you know how to send the finance so you can get the book.
Okay.
It's not gonna this is going to do more than I can tell you.
Right. Understood.
But we'll just put some things out relative to this so that you can understand really what's going on, right? So this is the back cover. Robert Davis, professor of Italian Renaissance history, Ohio State University. This is a quote from him.
Right.
The enslavement of Europeans doesn't fit the general theme of European world conquest and colonization that is central to scholarship in the early modern era.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Right?
Got
so
it.
the theme of Moors and Masonry is really that everything comes from us.
Right.
Our people think Masonry and they start, doing this, and they start talking about, this and this, and that's not Masonry. That has nothing to do with anything relative to Mason, like real Masonry,
Exactly.
right? When you look at Masonry, our people always claim that we're the founders of civilization. We built the pyramids, right?
Right.
How come our people take this symbol, which is a pyramid, and give it to Illuminati? Why do they do that?
Mm-hmm.
If they know that we're the founders of everything and we built the pyramids, how is it that pyramid, they don't claim that one? They give that one to the European. When that pyramid is one of the, if not the most powerful pyramid of all the pyramids that are even here in stone.
Mm.
This is why when they say Trump is Illuminati and all these politicians are Illuminati and all this, if they're Illuminati, how come they always talk behind or in front of the eagle, never the pyramid?
Mm.
They never, ever speak in front of that pyramid. They always speak in front of the eagle. If they're Illuminati, they should be speaking in front of the pyramid. The real deal is that it's ours. That's our governmental seal. Their governmental seal is the eagle. That's why they talk under that. Our governmental seal is the pyramid, but we think we're Negro black colored, so that doesn't apply to us. That's just sitting dormant. Pull out $1 right now from your pocket, and you'll see it on there.
Hmm. That's a great point, and I want to dive into that, but I know how you and I talk, so we could go all day and just keep diving. But I want to switch gears for a second, because
Right.
I know I say peace unto all the Moors that are on here, that are knowledgeable, that are that understands this information. The reason why I love Kojo so much is because Kojo is so humble about his information that he knows. He doesn't throw it in your face. He's like, he answers my question, even if it sounds dumb. He makes me feel smart. So I love talking to the brother. So Kojo, let me ask you this. What is nationality?
So we can do this thing of I'm the scholar and I know this, and then we could run down 2 hours about what nationality is. But let's do it simple,
Right.
just because we want people to learn. We don't want them to leave this lost.
Right.
That they came here and didn't find out what nationality was.
Right.
Now, if you want to know the meaning of a word, what are you supposed to do?
Look it up in the dictionary.
Oh, all right. So let's look up nationality. But instead of using the regular dictionary, we're going to use the law dictionary. So that way we can look at it from a law perspective, not an emotional perspective. So we could
Can
look
we
at it.
use any law dictionary?
Well, we say you want to get law dictionaries that are hardcover. So this one right here is fourth edition,
Okay.
Black's Law Dictionary, right? And Black's is just the name of the individual who wrote the dictionary. It has nothing to do with black people or anything like that.
Right.
Right? Black's Law Dictionary. This is the fourth edition. There's I think 12 or 15 editions or something right now. You want to get between 1 and 5. You don't even want to get anything past 5. The reason why is because since it's not us making these books, the newer versions would have things taken out of them because there's a constant reconstruction of history in the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
Constant, 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365. They're always reconstructing the history here. And they're reconstructing the history because that's the only way that they're going to keep our people dumb.
Right.
And the only way that they're going to have power is if our people are dumb.
Right.
So when we look up nationality in a law dictionary, we want people to know that we're looking it up in a law dictionary because law applies at all times. Whether it's universal law or whether it's man-made law, law applies all the time. And
Yes.
anytime you start mixing emotion and feelings and religion and things that have nothing to do with law, in law, you lose. That's just how it goes. Because law is specific to law. Law is not going all over the place. So when we look up nationality in the law dictionary, it says that quality or character which arises from the fact of a person's belonging to a nation or a state. So to have a nationality means that we belong to a nation or we belong to a state, right? So you might hear people say Carolinians because they're from North Carolina.
Right.
That's a fiction.
Right.
Because Carolina is not a state. That we'll deal with that, but right, go with me here. The quality or character which arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or state. So as soon as you say nationality, automatically you're supposed to be tied to a nation. But if you're not speaking from the perspective of nationality, that means you're stateless because you have no nation. Now, there's a point that we have to make that in 1913, there was a man by the name of Noble Drew Ali. And Noble Drew Ali started teaching the dark-skinned people in the Americas that they're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. That their nationality is Moorish American because they're not Negroes. This was in the 1920s. He was talking about nationality.
Right.
And that our people are not Negro, black, or colored. What do our people call themselves today?
Black.
Yeah. Right? Somebody in the 1920s told us that's not what our identity is. And they buried him and got him out the way. They eliminated him. Just like they eliminated Dr. Sebi, just like they eliminated Nipsey, just like they eliminated people who are doing things for their people. Just because it's the right thing to do, they get those people out the way. The point of us saying that we're Moors and having a nationality is so that the colonial powers who are ruling can't just do whatever they want to people. So if we look at, there was a there was plane exploded or something like that, right? Certain line exploded. Certain people on the airline, they didn't go march and picket or whatever. They went and sued the airline, right? Because they have what is called national standards, that they're not just going to sit back and let somebody disrespect them. They're not going to march and picket about it. They're going to do something about it. Nationality made them do something about it. Nationality made Chinese build a wall so certain people can't encroach on their land. Because we don't have a nationality, we have no national standards. So everything that we do is geared in emotionalism, racism, sexism, and whatever other type of ism they want to create to keep us distracted from recognizing that nationality is really what's up, when we really step back and look at what's going on. You never hear Chinese on Chinese arguments or fighting or crime or nothing like that. You don't hear about it. Why? Because that's their personal national business. That has nothing to do with anybody else but them. But our stuff is all over the news. Everybody knows about our stuff.
Right.
When you look at, let's use them as an example, the Chinese again. Their community isn't called Yellowtown.
Right.
Why not? And why aren't our people recognizing that? Now, hold on a second. A Chinese guy kills a Chinese guy. It's not called yellow on yellow crime.
Right.
How come Sri Lankans are darker than us and they don't call themselves black?
Right.
They call them Sri Lankan.
Right.
How come Congolese are darker than us and they don't call themselves African? They're from Africa. And they come over here, but they're not African Canadian or African American. They're Congolese. How come they're from Africa and they're not African American? And how come our people aren't recognizing what's going on? How come somebody from Ethiopia comes over here, they're not African American, they're Ethiopian American, they're Sudanese American, they're whatever country they're from, American. Why? Because nationality is really what it's about.
Meaning that they have a nation that's backing them.
All the time. No matter what's happening. Even if they're in the wrong, nationality still backs them and protects them. And this was the message that Noble Drew Ali was bringing in the 20s. So if let's just say, hypothetically, we stopped being Negro, black, colored in the 20s and we started saying that we're Moors, do you think we'll be going through any of the stuff that we're going through right now? As far as our people, whether it's the crime against ourselves or whether it's other people violating whatever they're violating against us, it wouldn't be happening, because it would have been acknowledged and accepted by the people that they have a nationality.
What does again, that what's it that I want you to go into that, dive deeper into that a little bit, like having that nationality, what does that do to a person's self-confidence and self-worth?
Okay, so we'll go back to the definition, right, with regard to what you said. Nationality determines the political status of the individual, especially with reference to allegiance. So, okay, now let me ask you this question. Would you rather be, without knowing what they mean, would you rather be civilly dead or in full life?
I would rather be in full life.
All right. When they say nationality determines political status, Nationality puts you in an in full life status. Being stateless puts you in a civilly dead status. Now, if we have to go further to say what is nationality going to do for the people,
Right.
nationality puts you in a full life status, while not having a nationality puts you in a dead status. Then that lets you know how socially engineered our people are to not think for themselves. Right? Like, for example, when how I knew nationality was important, and I need to get on this, was when I went to Chicago, when I got brought into this information. So we go to Chicago, and I'm with the Moors. We're going to the temple, and they pull up on this elder with a walker. Right, we got room in the car and all that stuff. Elder's like, "Nah, I don't need no ride or whatever like that. I'll meet you guys at the temple."
Right.
All right, cool, whatever. You know what I mean? We get to the temple, and meetings, maybe half hour before the starting time. Who pushes the door coming in? The elder with the walker.
Right.
Half hour early with his walker to the temple meeting. Elder, 80 something, gray and all that stuff, hobbling around with the walker, but he's on time half hour before everybody else. That's when I realized that, yeah, this is real. If this elder right here, who has, 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 20 tops years left to live,
Right.
and he's repping for some nationality, then this must be something real. You know what I mean? Right? That was me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Other people might need other inspiration, like just the other day, for example. More might even be on here. Just the other day. Have you ever heard of somebody who is classified as black, right? Hitting somebody, hitting somebody with their car, right? Hitting another car, right?
Right.
The individual that they hit, you know, whether they call police, whatever happens, right?
Right.
Police show up, and the individual who hit the person didn't have a license, didn't have insurance, didn't have ownership, and they don't get arrested or they don't get 500 million tickets.
Hmm.
This Moor hit somebody because he's knowledgeable of the law. He lives his life a certain way.
Right.
Part of the way he lives his life is that he doesn't have license and all that stuff.
Right.
Because he knows that those things are colonial instruments. Those aren't for traveling on the road.
Right.
Right? Those are for a specific function.
Right.
He's not performing that function, so he doesn't have those things.
Right.
He hit somebody, let the person know, you know what I mean? I'll be able to take care of the damages, no problem, whatever. Highwayman came, no license, no insurance, no whatever, and then he got to drive off with no issues, no choking him out in the street, no arrest him, and then he dies mysteriously in his cell or nothing like that. He just got to leave the scene.
Yeah.
That he initiated the accident. It wasn't somebody else hit. He's the one that hit. And no issue, then this must be real.
It must be important.
That's an aspect. Right? Everybody knows Denzel Washington, right? Everybody's familiar with Denzel Washington. You ever heard of a movie called Roman J. Israel by Denzel?
Yes.
In the Roman J. Israel movie, this picture is on Roman J. Israel's fridge. Right? This picture right here is on Roman J. Israel's fridge. Now, if this picture right here of this Moor, Noble Jew Ali, is in the Roman J. Israel movie, how much more real do you need this to be for you? What more you want? Like, what more is there? What more convincing do our people need? Not even to go out and say that you're a Moor, but start studying nationality and start living by national principles. Start looking at things differently. Because you can't look at things how you've been looking at it once you get the truth. Right? The illusion, like one of these Moors we're talking about, the illusion is vast and wide, but it's this thin. And nationality is the one hit and it's going to shatter this whole thing open. Nationality alone. Because remember, everybody else has it. Our people are the only ones that are in the dark, calling themselves adjectives, calling themselves continents, calling themselves whatever some guy made up. But everybody else is dealing with nationality. So
Now,
what this does is it gets you out of the status of civilly dead and puts you into the status of in full life. And then once you have life, now you can live. You can't live if you're dead. And nobody's gonna let you live if you're dead.
and this is according to the law.
It's according to the law. Not
So,
Kojo's opinion. This is according to law.
so if you're civilly dead, that means that a policeman or some sort of authority can take your life and not get into trouble and go on as business as usual because you're already dead according to the law.
It's that simple. It's that simple. Just like that. And then you just stop there and then you just listen to the crickets.
Right.
Because
Right.
what more do you want? Like we
Right.
said, just the other day, this is something that happened recently.
Right.
How come this Moor didn't get choked out in the street? How come they didn't bust this Moor's windows and kidnap him and all this stuff? Why didn't they do that? How come? He didn't have no license, nothing, no insurance, nothing. And they just let him drive off after he hit somebody. And there's another Moor who's right there. Our position is this. If you're saying, let's say some situation, you know what I mean? You have some type of situation, right? Once you get to go home, that's a bonus.
Right.
Forget whatever else happened. Once you
Right.
once you leave with your life, because we know these people murder our people in the street with no remorse. They don't care, right? Why do they do this? They do it because we allow them to, not because they're racist or because of whatever, because we give them the power because we're not in full life.
Right.
And then if we're dead, then that means we're a minor. And if we're a
Right.
minor, it means that we have a minority mindset, not that we're small in numbers.
Right.
And if you have a minor mindset, then anybody could take advantage of you. You just find a child and you play them, you could play them all day. Have them looking under stuff and up and down over for stuff, and you're holding stuff in your hand. Same type of game they run with our people.
And that's why they call us wards.
And then that's why
Wards of the state.
and that's why the place that houses wards has a warden.
Exactly.
And that's why once you get in there, you're a slave. But really and truly, if you get free and you have parole, or you have to go sign in or some stuff like that, you're still a slave.
Right.
But then what does that say about the people who are out here that aren't on parole, right? That aren't behind bars or whatever, but right now they're like this, walking around. Nobody's around them, but they got COVID masks and stuff like that on. Who's really the slave?
Right.
Not that, you shouldn't protect yourself. There's virus going on and all that stuff. But if people aren't dropping like flies in the street, it's probably not a pandemic like that. Probably not. Just go do your research on pandemics and see how people were dropping in the street. If it's that serious. Right? Not that there's nothing serious, but certain people might be exaggerating. They might be pumping up those numbers in order to make the point. And what's the point that they're making? That people are dumb. People are so dumb, we could tell them, put something on your face, suffocate yourself, breathe in carbon monoxide, which is not healthy at all.
Right.
And it's okay. You just do that until we get the vaccine.
Or until we say so.
Or until we say so. Right? And then people who aren't wearing stuff, people with the mask are looking at them weird, and they want to beat them with bats or whatever like that. But they're not going to say nothing to these pedophiles out here molesting people's children. But the guy doesn't have a mask, they want to take the bat to that.
Someone said something that I was saying to, like I always say, someone Blossom, I think it Blossom Divine Rose said that the rest of your skin is exposed. What people don't know is that your skin is an organ. So it breathes,
Exactly.
and it breathes just like your nose is breathing. So your whole body is exposed to this stuff. not just these. There's infiltration systems here. I mean, this whole
body
mask, the whole body is a filtration system. So if you're gonna protect, you better be wearing a astronaut suit if you really want to be protected.
Yeah, really and truly. Yeah.
But Kojo, you said something very interesting. You said that we gave them, and we talked about this. You said we gave them the power.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've given them the power, I want you to talk about, just for a few more minutes before this thing hangs up, how do we take that power back?
Nationality.
And what are the steps towards nationality?
The first step is knowing without a shadow of a doubt that nationality begins with your mindset. So just like anything else, if we want things to change, our mindset has to change first. Nothing's changing unless your mindset changes. You can't have a Negro mindset and then nationality work for you. It's not going to work. You can't have a dentist mindset and be a plumber.
Right.
You have to take some time, put some studying into knowing the truth about this information. And one of the places that we tell people to go is RV Bay Publications. Go on that website and just sit there for a little bit and digest some of this information. And also be a sponge with regard to information, but be extremely specific of where you're getting it from. That's why we don't give too many places for you to go to learn, right? We send you one specific place, rvbaypublications.com. Go to that website and start the process of changing your mind. Because the only way that we're going to change anything happening with our people is by them changing their mindset first. Because once the mind changes, everything outside is going to change. Once the inside's working good, the outside is going to work properly.
And that's rvbaypublications.org?
Yeah, .com, RVBEY publications.com.
.com.
Yeah.
Is there any other sites that you want us to look into that you guys subscribe to?
There's that website. There's also the Moorish directory, moorishdirectory.com. You can also go to that website, and there's a wealth of information there. But guarantee, the reason why we don't give out so much, because you can go to RV Bay Publications, and that site will have you on there for 2 years.
Yeah, I've been there, so I know. I know. The other thing, this is why I like talking to you, because you really focus on mindset. The first time we spoke, that's the first thing that you was talking to me about. You spoke to me about was mindset, and a lot of people don't want to go through the whole process of changing their mindset because they want to get to some end goal or some future goal that's been told to them what nationality can do for them. Mm-hmm. But your thing is that not only that you must become nationality as opposed to getting something from nationality.
But just like with, if you for example, look at it like you see what Jordan, Kobe, whatever put to basketball to be great at it.
Right.
They became the game.
Right.
They weren't just out there playing. They abandoned their family and all that stuff in order to play the game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Lost his wife and all that stuff to have some 6 championships or whatever.
Yep. They were obsessed.
There was an obsession.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like anything else, you're going to be a doctor, you need that obsession.
Right.
If you're going to be a singer, dancer, you know what I mean? You're going to be motivational speaker, whatever it is, you got to put in your study time. You got to master your craft. This is the exact same thing.
Those 10,000 hours, y'all. There's no way around it. Hey, Kojo, that's a great point. I know one of my guys out there said, what's the first book that they can get into? I know you were highlighting this book a couple of weeks ago. It's called Nationality, The Order of the Day. But what will be the first book, if I didn't understand nationality, I wanted to get into nationality, what would be the first book that you would suggest that I read?
To get into nationality, you could probably go to RV Bay Publications under the books section. Mm-hmm. And there's a book there called Truth About Your Birthrights.
Truth About Your Birthrights.
Truth About Your Birthrights. That's a good one.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
There's another one called The Nigger Industry. And the reason why is because the idea of I want to know what nationality is, right? Like we said, is as easy as looking it up. But what we're doing is giving proper perspectives, right? And the people who we consider master teachers, they deal with perspective. How are you looking at this thing, right? If you're not looking at it from the right angle, you're not going to really get what this is. So, and we like to say the books off that website, because they're small. A lot of the other books on the Moors, you got 5-6 volumes of the book. Right. Anybody really put put their time to it like that, because we know our people's attention span is, you know what I mean? You got to really work with our people to keep their attention.
It's this short.
So these books are small and they're easy to digest. Anybody could pick up one of those books and read them and get something out of it. There's going to be something that you're going to get out of it, you know. So, but again, the website, RV Bay Publications, they got the tabs on the side. They got Nationality tab. They got Noble Drew Ali tab. They got certain tabs relative to certain information, and you know, just take your time with it. You know what I mean? It's not panic time like that, even though it's panic time. You know, but the reality is that all is mental. So it starts with getting it right here first. Papers and cards and all that stuff are useless if this doesn't work.
Right. Yeah.
If this doesn't work,
yeah, that's the only way that we're going to be in our proper person is when this changes.
The only way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's going to change, like, for example, with a lot of new Moors that come into this information. One of the first things that you start doing is changing your language. So you stop referring to people as black. Stop letting them call you black. Stop referring yourself as African American. You know, when you hear other people say it, or when you say it even, you might correct yourself. Like, oh, no, I didn't mean black. I meant, you know, I'm a Moor, or I'm melanated, or, you know what I mean? Just to break yourself out of the habits, the bad habits that we've had of calling ourselves adjectives, calling ourselves continents. Well, it doesn't matter what we call ourselves. We can call ourselves anything. No, you can't. You better be calling yourself your nationality, because if you don't, then all these people who didn't have nationalities are a living and dying example of the importance of it. Right? Just go check all the people. Everybody has a name that's not their name.
Yo,
right?
Kojo. This is epic.
No,
This is epic, and we got like one more minute before this thing shuts down. But
well,
I'm gonna
again,
say this: we got to do a part 2. We got to do a part 2 because
this is what I was gonna say. I don't know what your time is, but if you want to go again for a half hour, we can. That's cool. Just put live again. Or everybody could come on our channel and we could do it on our channel.
We could do that. We could do that. But this has been epic. Tell the people how to get in contact with you, because I want them to, because I know a lot of people probably be like, man, who is this guy? I want to get to know this guy. How do they get in contact with you?
Canaanland Moors on IG, and just hit the DM. Canaanland Moors on IG. And once again, if people got questions, we can hit the live thing right now after this, and we could give you some more, a little half hour more of some information.
Yeah. So everyone, I will see you next Wednesday on this channel at 8 o'clock. I'm going on Kojo's channel, Canaanland Moors, on IG. So just get off of this one and meet us over there, and we'll answer all of your questions. All right, everyone. Good night. Yeah. See you in a minute. Peace. Peace. Thank you, Kojo. You're
thank you.
Awesome, awesome, brother. Awesome. Love you to death, man. All right. See you in the next few minutes.
Yeah. Couple minutes.
Thank you, everyone.